Hello, and thank you for tuning into the Stuff I Heard podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Peak, and I happen to have Dolores with me again today.
Hello, Dolores.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hello.
So, we have been setting up the room a little differently, as you can tell in the YouTube version behind us. We've got some Star Wars Legos flanking me on either shoulder, and I was just discussing to my wife how I put R2 on one shoulder and Chopper on the other, kind of like the cartoon version of how you have an angel on one side and the devil on the other. The angel's always trying to tell you to do the right thing, and the devil's like, no, 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 let's do the wrong thing. It's more fun. And she's like, wait, is Chopper supposed to be like a bad version? And I said, no, no, he's not. He's a good version. He's actually he's mischievous. If anybody's watched any of the Star Wars stuff, Chopper is sort of the independently minded antagonist of things to go awry for the Empire, but also for his own people sometimes because he's like a cat. He just does things that are dangerous, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
Whereas R2 more or less protects everybody from everything. I did hear a thing where George Lucas said that the reason that R2 doesn't really say anything that you can understand is because he wanted to tell the Star Wars story as though R2 told the story. Like he's basically the narrator. The what you're seeing on screen for the six movies that George Lucas made is supposed to be from R2's point of view.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Okay.
I also don't understand why people in the movie understand what R2's saying
Some do.
and some don't.
I mean, not everybody speaks R2.
Okay.
It's an astromech droid.
But it also doesn't give you like closed caption as to what he's saying
No.
because you're not supposed to know.
Just like Chewbacca going, and he go, no, Chewie, that's not what, you know what I mean?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So I did think this is the Stuff I Heard podcast. I did hear how George Lucas came up with R2D2.
Okay.
It was actually a camera rigging that he used when he filmed his first movie, American Graffiti. It had a long name to it, and they just kept referring to it as R2D2 because of the weird name. And whenever he was creating this character, he said R2D2 so much that it was the one thing he depended upon the most when filming American Graffiti that he wanted to name a character after it, and that became the thing that he could name it after.
Okay.
Kind of a cool idea.
Yep.
Yeah. See, you don't just watch this show to learn about Disney. You also learn Star Wars stuff. Do you feel like you learned some Star Wars
Oh,
stuff?
yeah. Lots.
So last week we talked about our trip to Disney, and upon our return, we also set it up so that we could play a Monopoly game.
We
That's
bought a Monopoly game while we were there.
yes, specifically for our oldest grandson, and
Who will be 9 in
he
a little bit, what, just 2 months?
very soon.
Yes. We actually owned a Monopoly game years ago with our kids, and I do believe it was a Disney Monopoly game.
Yeah, it wasn't as fun as this one.
It was different, but also I donated a lot of the games that we had here with the kids because nobody played them for years. And here I am buying the same games again.
I thought the same thing when I saw um the Cat in the Hat book, the Dr. Seuss books at the store. I thought, man, I really want to get one of these and read them to Lawson, but I was like, I'm buying the book again.
I know it's, but this Disney Monopoly game, we paid $50 for it.
That's a lot of dollars.
It's gone up a lot over the years.
Monopoly's making a monopoly on this.
Yes. But it was a cool game. We played it with our grandson yesterday after, I mean, I'm sorry, last Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
He's 8, but he is already grasped the concept of Monopoly
Yep.
and does really well considering he is 8 with his money and how to pay for properties and how much rent you owe him.
Yep.
Um,
And he was willing to make deals.
he
Like
was willing to make deals, but
he was
also
like,
too, you have to be
hey,
careful. We have to be careful not to try to swindle
yeah,
him because there are some deals he don't quite understand just yet.
right. But
But
also it I thought it was really cool that we could teach him that because like there was, for example, a property that you owned one, I owned one, and he owned one, and he was like, I really want that property. And I was like, okay, but even if I trade it for you, you don't have access to her property, so you can't do anything with it. And he was like, I know, but I land on it a lot. I was like, okay, that's decent rationale. but also like I kind of wanted to show them in a small version because I ended up in that trade with a lesser property that really isn't that valuable. It's on the first road, but I put castles on it because I was like, okay, well, this is how you learn a lesson. So,
Right. In
um,
this game, you don't have houses and apartments or houses and hotels, is the original game, right?
right.
This one has Toon houses, which actually looks like Mickey's house in Toontown
Hmm.
in the Magic Kingdom. And instead of buying hotel, upgrading to hotels, you upgrade to castles.
Yeah.
And there's also a very nice three-dimensional, is that like a pop-up castle that stands right in the
Yeah.
middle of the board?
As
That
you
is super cool.
as you unfold the board, the castle makes shape into a three-dimensional thing in the center, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
It wasn't so big that you couldn't like play around it, but it was big enough for you to go, "Whoa, that's impressive."
Yep. It was a lot of fun. And it's really to me now that I don't know, guess maybe I look at it a little bit different now with our grandson because you just see things different with your grandchildren than you do with your children. But it is a awesome game to teach a child how to do math.
Yep.
Just the starting off the art of negotiation
Hmm.
because that's going to be something they need their whole life. And so I mean, it was a fun game. We played for almost 2 hours, and I
Yeah.
want to say the only reason we stopped was because we
You need to
had to
go.
stop. We needed to go.
Yep.
It didn't have anything to do with the first. We had nobody that ran out of money first. The way we ended the game was we totaled up the money to see who had the most money.
And who won the first
I
one?
know you won.
What?
Yeah.
Come
Actually, the
on.
8-year-old beat me. I
Yes, he
came in
did.
third of three.
Well,
So
you got broke really fast.
I did. I
Yeah,
did.
you got adventurous with your purchasing, and that ended up hurting you.
Actually, no, I didn't. If you stop and think about it, I didn't own any more property than you. I
Well, I
did.
had castles. You had nothing.
I know.
Yeah, you didn't have a grouping of anything.
So yeah, it was fun though.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. He does love board games. I hope he continues. I tell him all the time that I know it's not going to be much longer. He's not going to want to come play board games with
I
his Gigi.
know. I love this part.
I know. I do too.
This is my favorite age. Whenever they like look up to you and want to learn from you
But
and
we have a lot of
start developing
games.
their own ideas
Yeah.
about things and really starting to like develop
Yes.
personalities, and
We have a lot of board games. This time I'm not getting rid of them. Although Lawson is only a year old,
it's gonna
I'm
happen.
keeping these games this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of fun.
Wow. I liked it. Again, the $50 was extreme, but also you got to think they probably have to pay licensing to the people that made
Monopoly,
Monopoly
right.
and also to
Well,
Disney.
there's a lot of different franchises that has Monopoly. I think
Yeah,
Harry Potter has a Monopoly game,
sure.
NASCAR. There's multiple different franchises that has bought into or pays Monopoly to use that game, and then they.
Even like small towns, like I noticed there's a Florence Monopoly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I seen it advertised on Facebook. I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
Because I mean, what do they consider the most valuable property?
I don't know. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Look forward to playing it again.
That would be weird to own Oakdale as a.
Yeah.
as a-
Speaking, I was just looking at the Legos behind you.
Yeah.
Actually, you need to put that one, the flower one, together with him for
Really?
my desk. Yeah, he likes Legos. He just
Well, but that one says 18 plus, which means it's going to be super hard.
oh okay. I didn't realize that. Honestly, I didn't even pay attention to the fact that they
Yeah.
have ages on them. I do see
There's
that now.
there's levels. Like the little spaceman. What does his age say?
10 plus.
Yeah, so you need to be about 10 years old to do
So
that one.
only the only one that's under 10 is
He could
the
probably do the spaceman one, but
with help. Well, I mean,
it's not easy.
yeah,
Like the Commander Cody over here, the helmet, those are hard. Those were really hard.
and that's actually one he got for Christmas,
It
right?
looks simple until you get to the helmet part, and then I told him, I said, he goes, "Oh, you finished it?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "You only had like 2 bags left, and we had it sitting around for a while." And I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and slap this together. I said, but the helmet part, I had to take it apart and put it back together like 6 times because it just wouldn't go together like the instructions said, and it took me a long time to figure it out. But yeah, it's some of them the difficulty level is really high. I'm not I'm not naive enough to think, oh, I can just throw this flower pot together pretty quickly. I think it's going to be kind of challenging.
I'm gonna put that on my desk. I do have some flowers at work that are live flowers, which require me to water them.
These won't have to water.
I know. I'm looking
You may
forward
have
to
to
that.
dust them like once a year.
Probably more than that. I work in a steel mill, so the dust is quite a lot.
Weirdly.
Not to mention dust. But the other thing that's quite a lot at my work is tires going bad.
Oh, nice little segue. I like
I
that.
tell you what, I've only been there 4 years. Earlier this year, I've been there 4 years, February 1st. And Thursday I bought my fourth tire that has had to be bought since I worked there. I
Yeah.
knew Thursday was a pouring down, just torrential hard rain coming home
As
from work.
as my wife says, a frog
It
strangler.
was a frog strangler for sure. And I was only driving 30 miles an hour on 50 to Highway 52 coming home. And I noticed something just didn't sound right. And I have the gauge on my car on the display screen that shows the tire pressure in all four of the tires. And as I'm looking for that screen, because I don't keep that screen up, I drive with the screen that shows the miles per hour and the stuff you would need. As I'm starting to flip through the screens to come to the screen that shows my tire pressure, I thought it's probably just the water on the road. And because there was so much water on the road, I was driving literally like 30, not even 30 miles an hour.
Hey, I was coming home from work at like 18.
Yes, my windshield wipers were on high.
Anything.
I couldn't hardly see anything.
Yep.
And I thought, well, maybe it's probably just water. But then the minute the screen came up with the four pressure shown on the tires, one of them was way down compared to what the other three were. Mm-hmm. So I knew, okay, I've got a problem. It just so happened that I was very close to the house. You were very close to the house. I pulled in, and since we do own an air compressor, you put air in it. And I went straight to the tire place. Got soaked getting out of the car with an umbrella because it was raining so hard. And they were able to take my car pretty quickly. We do buy tires from a local. I know it's a chain,
it's
not right?
Local. Yeah, it's discount tires. Shout out to Discount Tires.
Yes, I will have to say we've done a lot of business with them, and they've always been very nice, very helpful. Mm-hmm. I do buy insurance on my tires because, let's face it, I'm on tire number 4 in 4 years, and we just put 2 brand new tires on the back of my car in July of last year.
Yep.
So not even
just from wear and tear, they just needed to be replaced.
Right, tires need to be replaced. I get that.
Thin.
Obviously, the 2 that had to be replaced were not newer ones. Mm-hmm. They put the newer ones on the front and put the brand new ones on the back. Well, this was a brand new tire, wasn't even a year old.
Yeah.
That was bad. So he comes in, he goes out, pulls my car in, comes back in and tells me that he said, if it can't be repaired, then you have insurance. So you get a new tire. And of course, you've got to pay insurance on the new tire, which I get that. And if it can be repaired, we'll repair it. I said, okay, no problem. It's basically how that works. I'm not new at this. So he goes out, comes back in, and he said, you have 2 pieces of, and I said, oh, let me guess, steel. And he said, yes, ma'am. And I just so happened I had on a Nucor shirt that day. And I said, yeah, see where I work? And he said, yeah, we get a lot of business from you guys, from your company. I
Coincidentally.
Like, yeah. There's like 60 of us where I work, and across the street, there's probably 550 plus. So anyway, had to have a new tire. But the one thing that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way was when he went out to my car, he checked the front tires. I noticed he did not have an umbrella, pouring down rain. The kid got just soaked. And when I say kid, I mean, he's a heck of a lot younger than I am, but he's not like 16 or 17 years old.
Yeah.
Yes, he is in management with Discount Tire. So he pulls it into the shop. He comes back and he tells me that the tire on the driver's side front looks like it needs to be repaired. You're getting close to not repaired, replacement time. You're getting real close to replacement time. It was already 5 o'clock. After 5, I was like, let's just get the tire fixed that needs to be fixed or replaced, and we'll deal with the front tires later, please. Number 1, I want my husband involved in this. I want him to order the tires, schedule that kind of stuff. I'm not sitting here till 8 o'clock tonight. So we did all of that. I got home. I had to have my tire replaced on the back and bought the insurance on that, come home. And you and I were talking about the front tires. Yep. I was telling you that he said that one of them needed to be replaced. And you looked it up the next day. Mm-hmm. That
The front
tire,
tire was a Pirelli, and it was rated for 70,000 miles, and it only had 30,000 miles on it.
because you keep up with that kind of
I
stuff.
kept up with the times, the
You write
mileage, and
down the
everything.
mileage when we
Yep.
get them, right?
Yep.
So my question is, why would you sell me a tire and stand in front of me and tell me whenever I'm looking at what type of tires to put on my car,
Hmm.
you say, okay, this tire is rated for 70,000 miles. And here I am halfway through the life of my tire, and you're saying, oh, you're getting close to replacement time, or
Right.
you need to replace the tire because of wear.
Right.
Something's not adding up there.
Well, they're hoping most people don't pay attention. That's what I think.
Tires are too expensive for that.
Yeah, and also because you work in the steel mill and you pick up metal on a regular basis, it's almost worthwhile just to roll the dice and wait for you to pick up another piece of steel and go, oh, now that one has to be replaced.
Right. I mean, it
I
doesn't
mean,
always happen that way because we
no,
had to buy two
right.
tires. It's just I don't know. I'm kind of aggravated with the fact that we are the kind of people that when we buy tires, we like to buy a set of tires.
Yep.
But now I do believe two tires of a different kind on the front, and I now have two different tires on the back.
Yep.
Because they did not have in stock the ones that we bought last July to
Right.
go for the one that needed to be replaced Thursday. So, I mean, it's like I'm driving around on four different types of tire
Right.
or brands. Let me say brands.
And I also don't like the fact that he told you that the Michelin was a better tire than the Yokohama when both of them are rated for the same 70,000 mile warranty. They're both the same quality. One's more expensive. The Michelin's more expensive than the Yokohama for whatever reason. And I like the Yokohamas. I had them on my truck. They're great. I've had two sets of them on there now.
Yeah, the Yokohama is
And
what we bought in July of last
the
year,
Yokohama's
right?
what I put on yours. They ride comfortable. The 70,000 miles. I mean, it's a good tire. I don't know why he considers Michelin a better tire. It's to me, it's not. It's the same.
How
But
can you
they're
really tell what a good ride is on some of
but
these
they're
roads?
$60 more per tire.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, it's a better tire. Okay, price wise, maybe because you're marking it up because it's Michelin. But yeah, I'm okay with Yokohama. I like those.
I don't care. I mean, obviously, I go through tires like it's nobody's business
Right.
because of where I work. But like I say, I just don't agree with
You've had more tires put on your vehicle than I've owned vehicles.
you. I've had more tires on my vehicle, and it's a 2019, than you have on your 2013
Well, yeah.
because of where I work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I've gone through tires. I'd say I've gone through four tire. That's a tire a year.
Yeah.
So I don't even get to drive a tire until it's worn out or
Yeah.
needs to be replaced. Although if you go to the tire store, they tell you they need to be replaced halfway through the life of the tire.
Which is wrong. They shouldn't do that.
I mean, that's
But that's their job. They're trying to sell, right? They get paid whenever they get new stuff sold.
I guess. I mean, I guess it's just like
mean,
shingles on a roof. Oh,
yeah.
they're rated. Oh, these are the 25-year shingles. And 17 years in, they're like, well, they're really only going to be good for about 15 to 17 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's like lifetime warranties. Whenever you hear lifetime warranty, because they're banking on the fact that you're not going to own it for their lifetime.
Yeah.
Or by the time you ask for that warranty to have some kind of return, they'll oh, where's your receipt from 25 years ago? Do you have proof that you owned it? I mean, there's going to be that kind of thing. They're just banking on warranties, the fact that people are not studious. Is that the right term?
Yeah.
Studious?
Well, he didn't sell me the insurance on
Organized.
Thursday when I left there either.
No, he screwed up. He didn't charge you for the insurance, which I had to call and say, hey, we want that.
He didn't even offer it to me because
Yeah.
I would not have walked out of and it was pouring down rain. It was late in the
That's
evening.
probably why everybody forgot.
Well, I don't know. Or maybe he didn't want to sell it to me because he's looking at my history
Yeah.
and realizing I'm going through tires.
Maybe we could get another $200 out of it
Yeah.
if we just play our cards right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I would like to think better of people. I would like to think that he's just
that it was close to
it was
closing.
crazy. It was
Yeah,
close to closing. It was pouring ass rain. And he's just like, well, oops.
this one's covered. So
Oops.
here's your receipt that you don't owe anything. But then when I got home, I was like, or on the drive home,
I'm glad you thought of that.
Yeah, on the drive home, I'm thinking, wait a minute, don't I have to buy insurance on the new tire? They replace it for the cost, but then you have to purchase insurance,
Yeah.
which has gone up.
Well, I also like the fact that you realized it so that it's not me bringing it up later and then you feel like I'm second guessing you. Because you were like, wait a second. And I was like,
Yeah, which we did. We were able that you called him what the next morning,
Yeah.
and he realized right off.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. I didn't offer her
He's
insurance,
like, I made a note on it. If anything happens, you're good. Just when you can, just swing by here and
so we went the
pay the
very
money.
next
And matter of fact, he
afternoon.
was the guy that helped me at the counter. So
Okay,
same guy. He's like, oh yeah, I talked to you this morning. Real nice guy.
yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, they're nice people. Like I said, the only thing that just didn't set right with me was, don't push me to replace tires that don't need to be replaced just yet. Whenever you can look at my history and tell that I am a good, solid customer.
Yeah.
I'm coming back. But I don't want to buy tires that I don't need.
I did think it was weird that in store the warranty was $50, whereas if you bought the tire online, the warranty's only 25. I thought that was kind of weird.
Well, see, that's the other thing I told him when he was trying, saying that I needed a new tire replaced. Uh, that was not covered under insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I said, hey, I get it. I will talk to my husband about it,
Mm-hmm.
and he will set all this up because a lot
Yeah.
of times they don't have tires in stock. And looking back, you ordered them online last time and bought the warranties online. They're cheaper.
Well, and I was ballparking what it would cost online, and I accidentally ordered it. And I was like, oops. And I called them and I was like, hey, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to purchase this tire. And he was like, that's no problem. We can take it off. He goes, it's, I can see it on the system. He goes, I can just remove it. I was like, okay. So, I mean, yeah, I was curious about the price, what it would cost. And then I got to the part where it is like, and you've purchased it. I was like, oh, no, 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 not yet.
But there's not a lot of tire places in Florence, right?
Sure, there is.
Is there?
Yeah, Black's Tire. Black's
Yeah,
Tire
that's
owns like
true.
six
That's
facilities in
true. That's
Florence.
true. Black's
You got
Tire,
Firestone, you got Goodyear. Yeah.
Firestone, and Goodyear. Where's Goodyear?
Over there behind Kmart, where Kmart used to be.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we've got
Cardinal Tire.
No, I think they're out of business.
Oh, well, then Firestone.
But and I think the Walmart
And then you
stores,
got the ones.
Walmart and Sam's, do they still do tires?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I was gonna say you got the ones in the big box stores, and then you also got the little mom and pops ones.
But now I do like Discount Tire for the fact that if you have a repair, if you
Mhm.
need it just repaired, because the first time I went in there, I had not done any business with them. You had,
Mhm. You got a
and
nail in the tire.
I had a nail in the tire, and they fixed it for absolutely nothing.
Yep.
And I even said, "How much do I owe you?" And their comment was, "Don't worry." That was back when my car was brand new. I want to say I needed a tire repair within the first 3,000 miles.
Yeah.
And he said, the manager said, "Don't worry about it. Just remember us when you do need tires," which you're not going to find a lot of businesses this day and time that'll do that.
Yep. Yeah. Plus, I like the fact that they're coast to coast, and they're as far north as Connecticut. So
If you're traveling,
yeah, if you're traveling and you have an issue, you can swing in one of those, and
and
should
they
help
see
you.
you in the system, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I heard about them from Frank. Frank and Donna had gone out to California
okay.
and had a blowout in the dually. They had to get two tires replaced, and he was like, and I was surprised they were like, oh yeah, yeah, you're in the system, and he was like, cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So
Okay, moving right along. Yesterday, you had an interesting day.
I had an adventure.
You went on an adventure.
I had my first off-road day in the Jeep. So we purchased this in September, and
You got a rat in your pocket?
You helped. Um,
This is all you, bud.
This is my first. No. We're in this together.
No, this is all you,
No,
because
we're
trust
in
me,
this together.
my car would be in the soaking up that whole garage by itself.
I know, flexing its doors in the
Yes.
middle,
Yes.
like you do in the bed, just
Yeah.
stretching out, taking. Get off the side there, yeah.
Yes. Now I have to park on one side of the garage.
Aw, sharing is caring. So yeah, I had a great time. I was actually anticipating getting up early and driving up there and meeting Danny up there at Uwharrie National Forest, which is just outside of, it's in Troy, North Carolina, but it's just outside of Charlotte. Uwharrie is really beautiful. They have a thing set up for horseback riding, for trail riding, for dirt bikes, for hiking. There's a lake up there. There's also like supposed to be a waterfall somewhere. I don't know exactly. I didn't see the waterfall. There's a creek, as Danny says.
Yeah.
I say creek. He says crick. I was like, you mean like a crick in your neck? Yeah. There's creeks around. It's a beautiful place. Lots of wildlife. But yeah, Danny was spending the weekend up there with some friends.
They camp, right?
from
Some
the
of the
Jeep
guys go
Club.
up there and camp.
Yeah, and there's places all around where you can camp, and I've had enough camping in the Marine Corps to last me a
Camping,
lifetime.
as in like pitch a tent camping,
Pitch a tent,
or
yeah,
yeah, I guess they go in
and
the Jeep, so there's no way they don't. It's not like they're pulling RVs.
and I made a comment about bathrooms, and Dory told me she's like, I am the same way. She goes, but the general store is just a short drive to get down there to use the restroom. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. But anyway, they had kind of a cool camp set up.
So what
Um,
about that one last time you got to pee before you go to bed?
you just go in the woods,
Oh no, no,
drop
no,
trowel.
no.
You grew up in the country, you dropped trowel
Yes,
before.
but not out there where there are bears. There was no bears where I grew up.
Bears stay away from this black bears. Black bears stay away from people.
Okay,
The people are
I'm not
around.
gonna roll up in his woods and
No,
cop a squat so I can find out.
all the camp areas are where camp areas are supposed to be, and they smell human, and they're like, human,
I also smell food.
nasty. Well, that's also a thing.
Yes.
So, but I thought it was kind of cool. Dory and
So such thing as bear repellent.
sure,
Yeah, you would need mosquito repellent for sure because I would think they'd tote you off.
yeah,
But okay, I was just
I
thinking. I
guess
wonder if you
there
could just
is.
like spray stuff around.
Well, I mean, a lot of people carry like a special kind of mace, so if they get close, you just mace them. But also, black bears don't want anything to do with people.
They do.
They
They
really
want the
don't.
food.
Yeah, but they don't want to come into contact with people. People are icky. So yeah, I thought it was kind of cool when I rolled up on their little site. They had a paved area they backed into, and there was a little setup for a picnic table and a fire pit. And I thought, okay, well, this must be like a spot that you pay for because there was lots of them that were set up that way. Danny had a huge tent, big enough for several people, but it was just him inside the tent. Dory and Jeff went. Dory actually slept in her Jeep. She has one of those four-door Jeeps.
Oh, I don't blame her. I would have been sleeping in the
She
Jeep too.
she laid the back seats down and had an air mattress in there, and she said she was comfortable as a cucumber. She was about your size. She was like, I am fine in there. It was nice.
I could probably just lay on the back seat with a cover. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm
Um,
small enough.
Jeff had a he's a big dude. He's probably 6'3", 6'2". He had a hammock thing that hung onto the trees where the inside was it had a flat bottom, it had an air mattress built into it, and then the whole thing was done up in like a canvas. It said it was rated for 2,500 pounds, so that you're not laying on the ground, and then it had a flap thing over the top for like an insect screen, so
So
that
he was out there like a
mosquitoes can't get you. Yeah,
burrito.
yeah, yeah.
Wait, just a
He
burrito
was a
waiting. A
he was
bear.
a Jeff burrito.
Okay, just waiting for a bear to come. No, 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 no.
Yep, he could just take a bite out of the middle and get right to the squishy part. Just,
Uh,
yeah, that was my first thought. But anyway,
oh, I am not that much. I'm not a one with nature kind of gal.
he said he bought it because he's seen a video of somebody loading 2,000 pounds worth of sand in the thing before the one of the straps broke, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it'll hold me." So yeah,
I would be more concerned about what would eat me than what would that it would hold me through the night. I'm not going to worry too much about that. I would know more than
yeah,
I weigh, but still,
with all those people around making noises and stuff, bears don't want to be around
just
people.
hanging out there between two trees. Oh
What could go
no,
wrong?
no, 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 no.
Yeah,
Yeah, what could go wrong?
what could go wrong? Danny had gotten some firewoods. There was firewood piled up, and they had a little fire pit thing with a special like metal arm thing with a grill on top, so they could grill food on top. And I saw Dory like cleaning out a frying pan, and I was like, okay, they must have chowed down. So anyway, my goal was not to spend the night. My goal was to show up early, say, hey, let's go to the trails, and that's kind of what happened.
Oh, if I ever go, and I use that with like quotation marks
You'll
around that
go.
first word,
You want to
it
go.
will be a day trip.
You'll love it.
We probably won't leave home at 5:30 in the
You
morning.
gotta get up at 5.
Huh.
He said, whoa, whoa.
If I'm not going to work, that's not happening.
Okay, so you're used to get up at 5:30. You could get up at 5:30, and we could leave here by 6:30.
Yeah, but then I'm getting up at 5:30 6 days in a row instead of just five.
But you'll have a great day.
Oh, yay.
You don't have to drive. You can chill. You can be the passenger princess, like normal. Yeah. So yeah, got up there. I got up. I had my alarm set for 5:30, but I got up at like 6 after 5, and I was like, all right, I'd rather not wake her up. So I just went ahead and got up and got my stuff together, jumped in the Jeep, and I was on the road by 5:30, and I got up there about 8:40. So about 2 hours, a little bit more, with trying to learn the terrain and figure out traffic patterns and whatnot. But got to the outpost, met Danny there, bought a pass for the park. It is one of those things you need to buy a pass
Is
for.
it a state park?
It is a state park.
And that is North Carolina, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So a day pass is only $10, but for the year is $30. So if you plan on going up there twice or three times, it's worth the money just to buy a year pass. So I just went and bought a year pass because I figure I'm going to go up there again with you and probably with mom and probably with Jackson and probably with Jared. Probably, I don't know. We'll just see. We'll see what happens. So anyway, they got a little grill in there, and I got me a little biscuit because my breakfast I ate here kind of wore off.
That was at the store where you paid for the
Yeah.
The whatever you want to call it.
And they got they got a restroom there.
The pass.
Yeah. And got all that set up. Met Danny. We went to their campsite, and he had all his equipment there to air down the tires. Got aired down so that I could bounce off things instead of bouncing, into them or whatever. Or not bounce, but just climb up. Anyway, whatever.
So you take air out of the tires when you're going to do rock climbing, right?
Yes.
And that is so that the tire will mold a little better to the rock.
Yes. And there's a good example. I've seen several good examples online, but there's a good example of someone taking a Jeep from a showroom and rolling up to a brick on pavement. And with them at full capacity, when they hit the brick, it stops the Jeep. And then they show it with it reduced on the air pressure, how it goes up to it and goes over it with a little bit of struggle. But then when they go down even further, it just goes up to it and goes right over it.
How do you know how much air to take out of your tires?
The internet.
Okay.
The internet tells me.
Okay.
So I don't have bead lock. Bead locks you can go down to like 0. You can take it down to 5 pounds of pressure or whatever. I mean, you can take it down really low with bead locks because it has a ring on the inside and the outside of the rubber that holds it in place so that no matter what, it's going to keep turning. And
that's what makes those tires super expensive. Yeah. Or the rims, whatever that is.
Both. Then that's what Danny has.
Yes, those are very expensive tires.
Right. I've just got regular rims, and I read online that some people had taken theirs down to 10. Most people recommending about 15, and we took ours.
So it doesn't damage the tire?
Nope. That's because they're made to be like this. So I lowered mine down to 15. Had a great time driving it. It didn't make any difference. I'd never done any of the off-road stuff. I'd put it in 4-wheel drive just to test it the day I bought it, but I had never done it on a regular basis to know what to do. But we got out there on the trail, and I was like, hey, by the way, what do these buttons do? Because I have a Rubicon. It's got buttons to engage the sway bar. The sway bar is the stuff in the front. So when you engage that thing, it allows you to go off of rocks. And that where you see people doing the test thing where they have one wheel up and one wheel down, that's to check out your articulation. If you don't have that and it's straight the whole time, then when you go on a rock, you could have 2 wheels off the ground and you have a tendency to maybe flip over. So you click that little button and that allows you to articulate, and then you can climb over things with no problem because then you got 4 wheels on the ground constantly making contact. And then it's got a button where you can do lockers. Lockers engages those rims so that they all turn at the same time. And on some of the bigger obstacles, I engaged the lockers. And that was the first time doing any of that, but everything worked great. And it was really a beautiful day. The weather was a little bit chilly in the morning. I actually left here wearing jeans. But the first thing we come up to as an obstacle was this thing they call Poser Rock, because people they pose with it, where they climbing up the side. I sent you a picture.
Yes, I saw it.
You were like, oh, okay.
Yes.
I was having fun.
I don't know. I don't see the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't see the enjoyment in it, because to me all I see is, oh my gosh, if something happens, it is expensive.
Okay.
I mean, super expensive.
You like riding 4-wheelers?
Yes, but that's different. I don't go climbing like rocks with one tire way up on the rock and one tire not even touching anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
listen, if there was something that made me feel like it's unsafe, I wouldn't have done it.
Like, it just looks dangerous. Not only does it don't look dangerous. What y'all did yesterday, me watching the video, doesn't look dangerous as far as the person driving the vehicle, because you're strapped in seatbelt and you're not going very fast. What I see is dangerous in repairs, is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's that risk. I mean, and with it being a little bit muddy, there was parts of the trail that had that clay. So you'd slide a little bit. You're like, ooh, don't slide, don't slide.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, well, there was also a Jeep in the group that you were with yesterday that you made the comment was had the
Had the regular factory
The regular
tires on
factory
it.
tire.
It was a Rubicon. It was a newer Rubicon.
Did they take air out of their tires,
Uh,
or did they?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so you can actually do some of that with the tires that come on it from the dealership.
With a Rubicon, yes.
Okay,
Rubicons are made to go off road. Whereas like a sport model isn't. It's going to have regular street tires on it. The Rubicon's made with some all-terrain tires on it, and they rated those at like a 32 and a quarter. People sell them and say they're 33s. Might as well say 33s. I got 37s and a 4-inch lift, so I didn't have any trouble with any obstacle. Pretty much everything I wanted to go over, I just went over with no problem. With a two door, theirs was a 4-door, mine was a 2-door. With a 2-door, as soon as your front wheel gets on the thing, your back wheels are already on the same obstacle, so you're automatically going over the thing, just like a toy little car going over stuff in your living room.
with big car prices, repairs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I say, I'm sure that once I go do it for a day or whatever, I will see the difference, but it just looks so expensive.
Yeah.
Mainly after coming off of the whole tire experience that I had on Thursday,
Yeah.
and knowing that the tires on that you have on that Jeep are not even remotely close to what a tire on my car costs.
Well, true, but also people, like I was saying, on Facebook Marketplace, people sell the tires that I need at a reduced price because like people like there are some people that just want to go bigger all the time. So they'll get the tires that they think are perfect, and then they'll go, "No, I don't like these. I'm gonna go bigger." And then they'll sell their older tires on Facebook Marketplace really cheap because they're like, I want to get rid of these things." And there's so many out there that people want to sell that what I'm using I could get for cheaper than you can get your tires. So it's kind of nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed your
I had
Jeeping
fun.
day.
I had fun not only just having the day with these people, because they were great. Of course, Danny, I enjoy all the time, but I got to meet Jeff and Dory and have a really great day with them as well. Really nice people, and we ran into some other people from our Florence Jeep group, the Carolina Jeep Meet, and they were in a huge group, and my group was like, you know what? Let's don't go with the big group. I like the small group. Let's go
But
with
now,
the
is
small
you
group.
hurry big enough that it can support a lot of people up there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's a lot of trails.
Yes, and you do come across other people going the other direction, and there's sections where you can pull off all the time where you just pull over, they go by, and then you back up and get back on your trail.
So this would be comparable to riding in the Smoky Mountains, like on Cades Cove roads and stuff like that, but
It's
just
not paved.
okay.
Cades Cove is paved,
Yeah, it is paved.
but yeah, it's real similar to that, except you're in the mountains. So, I mean, this one doesn't have as many views as like going to
Well,
Windrock.
yeah, this would be
Windrock has a lot of like picturesque views where you're just all of a sudden
that's
open
over
to
in the
Blue
Pigeon
Ridge.
Forge area.
Yeah.
Ish, right?
Well, no, that's more towards Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay.
But on like we went to Windrock twice, and there's sections of that where you come into an opening and all you have is view as far as you can see of
Now,
mountains.
see, I would think it would be a lot of fun to take the Jeep with the doors and the top off up in the area of like the Cades Cove, Smoky Mountain
absolutely.
area. And where I mean, I don't know that all that it's probably still not open or where you can do that anymore, but even like the Blue Ridge Parkway that we've rode many times on a motorcycle.
Well, I haven't looked into it, but maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I know that was that was a lot of that area that got destroyed during the flood last year.
Now, I wouldn't want to do Uwharrie with the doors off because you're going to get muddy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference in the fact that those roads
dirty.
that I'm talking about are paved.
Yeah. So here's the risk of if it's muddy or versus dry. If it's dry, you get a lot of dust at Uwharrie. If it's muddy, you have a tendency to get mud slung up from your tires just because of going and splashing and things. But I've heard Danny say before on dusty days, which I went with him before on a dusty day, and pretty much the dust was just blowing everywhere. At Windrock, we didn't have that because Windrock there's water coming out of the mountain in all directions. So there wasn't dust or mud. It was just, I don't know, it was just different. It was more rocky.
But now y'all also go there in August for the Jeep Invasion?
It's either August or September. Yeah.
Jeep Invasion is where y'all go and then you go to Windrock to ride, right?
Yes. It's gorgeous up
and
there.
you're driving yourself this year, right?
Yeah.
in your little convoy of Jeeps.
Yeah.
And y'all all drive together
That's so gay.
in a
Yeah.
straight line.
Or like a boy band without a
I'm not
band.
kidding you.
Yeah.
Without instruments.
Back streets back. All right. Yep. Exactly.
Oh, I don't get it. And y'all have little walkie talkies that you talk to each other. Well, not little walkie talkies, expensive ass walkie talkies
They're not expensive
that you
ass.
talk to each
They're like
other.
$75 a piece.
That you talk to each other instead of just using your phones.
But then you can't talk to everybody.
Why? What do you mean?
Because you need
Oh, if you have the walkie talkie, then
Hey, guys.
everybody hears.
Hey
Oh,
guys, we're getting ready to pull off here. This is where we stop for a break. Yeah. Hey guys, look out for this thing in the road. You know.
goodness. Yeah, it's like a boy band.
Why do you make it weird?
I don't. It is weird. It's like
I'm telling you,
it's your little club.
you get at the mountains, you're gonna be like, this is cool.
It's
I
your
like
little,
this.
It's your little club. Hey, Lori and I said, which is
Plus, it's pretty cool to like have a little snack lunch and just then there's lots of spots you can just
well,
kind of pull
now
off and have a little
we've
snack
done
lunch.
that many times with
Yeah.
the motorcycle,
Yeah.
and there was a
Of course, you
reason
do have to potty in the trees. So.
we did get rid of the motorcycle for obvious reasons,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would think that it would be fun doing that more so than the whole watching each other climb rocks.
No,
I mean, because just the videos, one person climbs while 4 or 5 other people directs him, and then
that was just because that was the Badge of Honor trail. So Badge of Honor trail is basically set up through the trail people and also Jeep, and it's designed so that you could take a stock Rubicon out of the showroom and with some skill drive these trails and earn these badges of honor.
this is like Boy Scouts.
Yes, it's like Boy Scouts.
So do you get a actual
special
sticker?
badge? I get a sticker. You can put it on the side of the Jeep to say I did this one.
Yeah. I can't believe the guys that you
so cool.
are in the Jeep club with putting stickers on their Jeeps.
Danny's got them.
Wow. I've never paid attention to that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we got two, or he got two at Windrock. One's called Panther Rock that they use in commercials. It's a rock that outjuts, and if you look at it from like a drone footage or a helicopter, it looks like a panther sticking out of the rock. And they've used them in commercials, and it was really cool to get up there. That's a badge, and then there's another one for Trail 16 or 26. There's a third one up there, Trail 16. That every time we go up, they get people at the little outpost says don't go on that trail because they've had some major reconstruction and weather issues with Trail 16, and it's super dangerous. So they were like, stay away from that one. So we've stayed away from that one.
And I didn't realize you get badges. Like I say, now I get it. It's all part of the you're like a little Boy Scout. You have your own little troop, your own little Jeep troop.
You'll get it. You get it. See, you're on board.
Oh gosh, I guess everybody. I mean, it's a hobby.
It's like having a thing for doing a 5K or a 10K. You're like, look, I got my badge of honor.
It's a hobby.
Yeah,
it's an expensive hobby, but it's a hobby.
Keeps me out of doing bad things.
What? Buying more Legos?
Keeping these idle hands busy.
You have the most hobbies of anybody I know.
The hard part is stopping yourself from more hobbies. Like that's the really hard part.
Yeah, I know, because you don't listen to your wife.
Because my brain just goes, we could learn that. And I'm like, shut up. I don't need to learn another thing. And then I'm like, wait, did I say that or did you say that?
Probably me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time.
It's nice to, like, your cell reception is crap up there. I tried to send you pictures and it wouldn't go. And then
it's okay.
30 minutes later it would go. And I was like, I kind of want to like FaceTime and show her this. But you know, it's nice to just disconnect.
Yes, I know. I did that all day yesterday here at the house by myself.
What do you mean? I'm a delight to have here with you.
Sit on the couch with my cup of coffee yesterday morning and just disconnected. I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it.
See,
I did get some clothes washed.
My hobby allowed you to have some peace and quiet,
and it allowed me to enjoy my hobby, which is spending some time alone in the peace and quiet. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did go to the farmer's market yesterday.
You did?
Yes. And I don't know if it's because maybe the weather's warmer. I have not been in a while. I've probably not been since, oh my gosh, I didn't go to the spring show this year. And I don't know that I've been this year. Honestly, I don't think I have. You and I both we go to the farmer's market because it's very close to our house. We
Yes.
go regularly during the summer to get fresh cucumbers and tomatoes and fruits. And I have not been in months. And I was really impressed. And there was a lot of people out there. And there's a lot of different vendors, new vendors that maybe they're just there for the summer. I don't know. But yeah, there's enough going on in that building that you can take your time and walk down each side.
Well, you were telling me they have a coffee shop there now?
Yes, somebody has built a little coffee shop. They've actually enclosed a little area. You know where the store went in? I think it's the McBee Peaches,
Yeah.
and they have homemade
Yeah.
ice cream
Yeah.
and they have, the fruits and stuff. That is an enclosed store.
Right.
Across from that, just across on the other side, on the side that Lambs is on, down from that, somebody has done a really nice looking little, it's kind of like a shotgun building. It's very narrow, but the length of the
Do they just
booth,
box it in
they
basically?
did. They boxed it in and
Oh,
with like rough, like almost like the shiplap older wood. It's really pretty. It's got a window on the front that you can walk up to and order.
okay.
They sell iced coffees. They've got a lot of different syrups to flavor it with. They have regular coffee. They sell coffee by the pound,
Oh,
different flavors of
is it
coffee.
local coffee?
I do not know that, and I honestly don't even remember the name of it. I did buy a nice coffee from out there, and they were super nice. You order in the front, and then over to the side, they had a couple of tables set up so that you could sit there and have a cup of
Oh,
coffee.
so you
And
could go there and spend a little time.
yes, you could.
Very nice.
But
Well, because there's lots of times where like you got a breeze blowing through there because it is an open air like drive-through
yes,
barn.
it was very nice
And
yesterday.
that would be really nice to just kind of chill, have some coffee,
But also too,
grab you some vegetables and
the kettle corn people that are usually at the festivals or like the fall
Yep.
plant show and the spring plant show, they actually were out there yesterday.
Oh,
They had a little booth set up where they were selling they had a smaller kettle. They were cooking popcorn and they had some for sale on a table.
maybe they were celebrating the graduation from all the high schools,
Maybe that's
kicking off the summer kind
maybe
of
they're
thing.
trying to make that a little more
Weekend drop-in kind of place.
right. I mean, maybe they're trying to make it a little more activity. I mean,
That's not a bad idea because that's a great spot.
yes.
It's easy to get to for everybody.
I know this sounds weird, but when people come, especially when we have family come to town during the summer months,
You kind of want to do something with them.
we go out there. I
Yeah.
mean, most of my family members that has come to town to visit has been to the farmers market with us, and they all say, "Oh my gosh, this is one of the nicest, if
Yeah.
not the nicest, farmers market that I've ever been to." And like we've used it we've been out there for years, and of course, I used one particular vendor the most. And it's the same people. I mean, you can tell it's family owned because
Yep.
the same people are working every Saturday. And it was nice. We had I met my daughter-in-law. Our daughter-in-law and the baby out there, and he was in the stroller, and it was really nice. They filled it up.
Mm.
You know how one end used to be completely empty or very very little activity. Now, maybe for the summer, and I hope it is. I mean, I hope that Florence would be able to make that a little more regularly,
Cool.
something where it's more populated even in the off season.
Yeah.
I mean, there are still vegetables that you can get you can get sweet potatoes and you can get your greens that are more toward the fall and winter of the month of the year. I would
I
like
noticed
to
you got a heirloom tomato. Is that from St. John's?
No, those were the purple Cherokees, and
Okay.
they're heirloom purple Cherokees from Florence.
Okay.
The only reason I didn't buy any red tomatoes yesterday was because the
We
guy
had just
told
got
me,
some too.
well, we had just got to at the grocery store on Friday evening, but also to the guy that I always talk with that helps me pick out fruits and vegetables that works at the Lamb's place in the farmers market. He said that they had gotten some St. John's
Mhm.
tomatoes in, but they were mixed on the table with what they previously had, which were not from St. John's.
That's fine.
From not St. John's, John's Island.
Maybe next weekend we can
Yes.
do a little. Well, we got to eat what we got here. But
Right, yeah. But now, John, I love the tomato. Whenever Lamb's
Yeah.
produce gets in the tomatoes from John's Island, they are amazing.
Yeah.
They're really good. There's something about that
That salty
air.
soil.
Yes,
Yeah.
that just makes a tomato so good.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So yeah, that was a fun. That was actually we probably spent a good hour out there just browsing around.
Okay. Well, cool.
So
So
promote,
couple of shout outs here
yeah.
from local places. Our farmers market, Discount Tire if you have a Discount Tire near you. Uhari National Forest. What else?
I think that's about it.
That's about it. Our little coffee shop that's
Yeah, check out the coffee shop. I mean,
inside of the Flat Farmers Market.
I would like to see the farmers, the people that are out there now, have enough success that they can stay out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. I like it.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this up. You got anything to promote?
Yeah, buy local.
Buy local. I like it. Okay. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you guys don't know, we're on YouTube as well as every platform as far as podcast goes. Remember to rate, review, blah, 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 blah.
Boy, easy for you to say.
Rate, review, share this with your friends, and as always,
Subscribe.
and subscribe, please.
I mean, we need more than 2.
I've heard that YouTube has a bell you can click whenever new things come out. The little bell dings. I don't know what that means, but I don't do that thing. But you can. Feel free to. Let me know if you did. So, if you have any suggestions about tire stuff, let me know. Because I mean, we're doing our best here, and we're just making this up as we go along. There might be a tire expert listening right now. Who knows?
Yeah, how could I keep picking up pieces of steel?
Um,
And don't tell me go to work somewhere else.
you might need one of those magnet, like the super magnet things that you see in the movies whenever they pick up cars. You might need one of those attached to the Murano.
What? No, I attract enough steel pieces as it is.
No, it picks it up out of the road.
Oh, okay. So like drives. I need to put it on there like a bulldozer.
Like a crane. You have a crane arm that sticks over the side, and magnet. You just turn it on, and it sucks all the metal out of the ground into the magnet. Yeah. Then you could go back and sell it across the street.
There you go.
And make some money.
Sell it for scrap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
All right. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all. And as always, cue the cow.
Cue the cow. Moo, baby.